I need to get another song. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Am I on? Let me see. Making sure. Okay, here. Hello, finest Shandy. Good evening, good evening. Hi, everyone. Hold on, people. I think I have. Nope, I haven't messed it up on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, got it. Hello, Miss Illinois. How are you? I think we were playing phone tags yesterday. Oh, my day was fine. How was your day? My fellow South Africans. Yeah, I'm about to be messy. I'm about to be messy. My fellow South Africans. Y'all okay? Y'all good? You need some jollof rice? Jenny, South Africa, no. What is Yes, I'm about to be very messy. I'm here for it all day, every day. Y'all good South Africans. Are you okay? You recovered from yesterday? Everything okay? But y'all, we gotta give it to our goalkeeper. Like, no, I mean, let's give credit to whom it's a deal. I mean, come on. They'll be okay. You'll be fine. It's all good. There'll be another time. Just listen. We ain't called Super Eagles for nothing. I mean, come on. That was a great match. Is there anyone else who feels like when there is penalty, like your friend had attack me and like what's going on? Like, come on, and you feel like you're the one taking the shots, and I'm like, come on. But anyway, way to go, Super Eagles. Sunday, y'all. Let's not pray. We've got to win it. We've got to win it. Listen. Everything is prayer. There's nothing prayer cannot change. Even football, or what they call soccer here, or whatever. Like, anyway, don't let us get started on that. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Happy Thursday. So, I've been giving a challenge today by teacher. He says I have to not talk too fast and try to talk much slower. Let's see how that goes. This is attorney Abisola Adebola Olale. I am an immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. They eat pap and steak. Well, maybe we should make some for them. If you, hey, Miss Sabina, I wish it was Ghana. You know what? Again, I ain't gonna start. It's too late Thursday night, and I'm tired. It's been a long day. First of all, I'm always looking. No, people just look for my trouble. So I had a custody battle this morning, and you know how some attorneys will come. Truth be told, let's call a spade a spade. Where I am, and that's the truth of the matter. I am the only Black female attorney in my circuit. The only Black female attorney in my circuit, and so some of them that come from, this attorney came from Montgomery, right? That's the political big city, and they feel like you're in a small town. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Let's just say somebody was schooled and dragged all over the floor today. So when I'm Black, you don't know if I'm upset because my skin color doesn't change. But when someone who's really white and changes red, you have. When a judge tells you that, oh Lord, if only he knew, then you know that you've been dragged. Don't come for me and my clients. Let's just say we won. And so that's it. But anyway, now it's immigration time. If you need to contact our office, the dragging is endless. I said, listen, I'm going to say this one time. You don't need to sue me in court. You're like, what? And she's always smiling. No, I said, excuse me, Judge. Listen, attorney, I won't say his name. I'm going to say this one time. Don't you ever, ever, ever refer to me that way ever again. My client was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Because if you get it twisted, I will help you to untwist it so that next time you come to Small Town USA, don't undermine and underestimate nobody because you don't know who you're coming to meet. Just leave it. But anyway, if you need to contact us, our number is 334-341-4475. Visit us on our website, olalayalawfirm.com. Email is info@olalayalawfirm.com. If you are just joining us today, you're just scrolling Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and you came across us. We do this Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central, Alabama Central Standard Time. That will be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can figure out whatever time zone y'all leave. But this is a positive forum. We come together Tuesdays, Thursdays, talk about all things immigration, share victories, share encouragement, prayer for one another, positive vibe. That's the goal, and we thank God that we've been able to do that. Since someone was telling me that I've been watching since 2020. I'm like, it's been a while. It's been a while. But I think when you enjoy doing something, I'm really, really passionate about something. It's not about how much time has passed by. It's just you doing what you want to do. But anyway, once again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Olalay Immigration. We would really much appreciate that. Once again, please note that we do not take calls on WhatsApp. If you need to call, you got to call our front desk and speak with someone. But the easiest way is to text Lydia on WhatsApp or send a text to the office number. And we'll be glad to help you out. All right, people, let's talk immigration. So tonight I'm going to talk real quick about let's explore employment green card options. Exploring employment green card options. We get at least every single day I have consultations. There's always at the minimum one person who is seeking advice on employment green card. So let's break it down so you have an idea whether or not it's something that is feasible for you. Now, one thing I always, people say, okay, she will qualify for EB1, EB2, national interest waiver, EB3, EB4, kiniyato, who's filing, who's not filing. So that's what we're going to do. Just the same way you can get a green card through marriage, which is the most common route, right? You get married or through family-based green cards. Through marriage, your child who's 21 years or older, who's a citizen, files for you. You get, let's see, the value, which is still a marriage, fiance, visa, all that. There's also that other side that is employment based. So can you get a green card through employment? Absolutely. Then the question is how. It will depend on what you qualify for and whether or not you are eligible to adjust status. So before I even get into that, so real quick, people, y'all living in Texas, remember last December when y'all's governor signed into law that they can, giving the rights to police officers and judges to order people removed from the states and from the country. The guy has lost his darn mind. But anyway, that law, he signed the bill into law. It was going to be, it was going to go into effect next month. Good thing now is the federal government has sued the state of Texas. So hopefully that's going to, stay, basically put a pause on that going into effect. And it's very simple. Immigration law is federal practice. No state has any authorization to make any laws that are going to be contrary to what the federal government has said. Regardless of what anybody thinks about whether or not the DHS is doing what they're supposed to do, are they securing the border, that has nothing to do with the supreme law. What is supreme law? It's U.S. Constitution. The Congress has given the federal government power to regulate immigration. No state has any power to enact their own law. So we'll see how things go. Hopefully it works out the way we pray that it does, because, and there's so many immigrants in Texas. Like, it's not just, and they word it in such a way where it's geared towards those who are coming through the border. But believe me, there's no how that's going to go into effect. That's not going to become racial profiling. There's not just no way. People hear you talking like, where you from? Where you from? Well, it's like, you might be done business. But just by you saying something, it's going to give whoever is like, okay, you're not from here. Or the next is, that kind of crazy bill is going to give officers a right to ask you for your status. Do we have to not carry everything where we go? It's just ridiculous. But we'll keep you up to date on how that is going to turn out. So that's by the wayside. Let's get back to what we're talking about. Employment-based green card. What the first thing to note is there is the petition part of it, and then there is the green card part. The main difference between an employment-based green card and a family-based petition is, for the most part, many people get their green cards through marriage to a citizen, or through a regular marriage to a citizen in a regular setting, or if you're married to, if you're filed based on abuse-based green card. And it doesn't matter when you're filing for VA, it doesn't matter whether or not you're still in status or you've overstayed, you can still get a green card. However, regular marriage case, you have to be married to a citizen to be exempt from the unlawful presence. When it comes to employment route, there is no such thing of you're able to adjust status, meaning get a green card when you have been way out of status. So that's the main difference. So it's one thing to understand that the petition itself is separate. The fact that you've got an approved immigrant worker petition does not give you any rights on itself. You've got to be eligible to adjust status, meaning file for your green card based on that approved petition. So there is EB1. EB1 consists of, let me pull it up here. So we have outstanding professors, researchers. We've got multinational executives and managers. Now, there's the EB1 extraordinary ability, where you do not need a U.S. employer to file for you. You also, for all EB1 categories, you don't need labor certification. Then we have the EB2. EB just means employment-based. So we have EB2 category, which most of the time will need a labor certification, but there's also the option of EB2 national interest waiver. National interest waiver covers degrees that range from a lot of STEM, but there's also non-STEM occupations that will qualify for that. Okay. Then we've got EB3 for professionals and skilled workers. That is going to require, so EB2, if it's not a national interest waiver, it will require you to have a job offer from a U.S. employer, and that employer has to show they have the ability to pay you that wage. If you are going to do a national interest waiver, on the other hand, you do not need a job offer, and you do not need to show that you're able to pay yourself. All you have to show is you've got an advanced degree, or you're someone with exceptional ability, and then you've got a plan that is going to basically benefit the United States, and you have you are in a position to carry out that plan. If you're filing through that route, then you do not need a job offer, neither do you need labor certification. And then we have EB3, where it's for skilled workers, professionals. EB3 nurses also fall under registered nurses. Physical therapists fall under EB3. Now, in EB3, for all EB3 petitions, you are required to have a job offer from a U.S. employer, and you're also required to have labor certification. But the thing is, the labor certification for some EB3, such as registered nurses and physical therapists, it's not going to be sent to the Department of Labor in the sense of you do not need to get them certified. You can send an uncertified application along with a petition that your employer files. All goes to USCIS, because registered nurses and physical therapists have been pre-qualified as occupations that the U.S. by itself has a shortage in. The whole point of labor certification is to certify that, yes, this position that its employer is filing for, there is a shortage in this industry for those people. Nurses, on the other hand, and physical therapists have been grouped into what we call Schedule A occupation. Schedule A occupations are exempt from having to go through running an ad, doing prevailing wage determination, recruitment process, filing the perm and waiting forever to be certified before you file with USCIS. They bypass all of that and file everything directly with USCIS. And then we have EB4. EB4, you fall under EB4 if you are a special immigrant. Those will qualify as those will be if you are seeking immigration, an immigrant visa, an immigrant work-related visa based on being a religious worker, for instance. You fall under the category of EB4. Now, when you so how do you know what you qualify for? Basically, if you've got those qualifications, EB1, you know what is in the extraordinary ability, multinational executive positions, managers, outstanding professors, researchers. EB2, you've got advanced degree or exceptional ability, or you've got or you're seeking to do a national interest where many you self-petition. EB3 for skilled workers, professionals. Schedule A would also fall under that. And keeping in mind the Schedule A occupations do not need legal certification. EB4, think about people who are in religious, who are religious workers. Now, when your self-petition or your employment-based, employer-sponsored petition has been approved, the goal really is getting a green card based on that, right? The question then comes into play, because if you've got an approved petition, how do you get a green card based on an approved petition that an employer sponsored or you sponsored yourself? USCIS requires, well, the Immigration and Nationality Act requires that you are still in valid status. So that is a difference it makes. And that's why not everyone is going to qualify if you are living in the country. Another thing to mention is you don't necessarily have to be physically present in the United States to become eligible for any of the employment-based categories. People can actually apply from outside the United States, wherever you are. If you're doing national interest, wherever you self-petition, if once it's approved, you apply. When your priority date becomes current, you apply for an immigrant visa at the embassy. Or if you're being sponsored by an employer or agency, then it's the same thing. You don't have to be physically present. For those who are physically present in the country, you are required to maintain a valid status, or you have not exceeded, meaning you haven't overstayed your last valid status for more than 180 days. So that's on the section 245K. If you've ever heard anyone say 245K, that's basically what it means. Also, even if you are maintaining a valid status, for instance, you are on an F1 visa, right? And you file a national interest waiver, it gets approved, and then you're just waiting for your priority date to become current. Along the line, however, you worked without authorization. Because you are seeking a green card based on an employment-sponsored petition, generally, you will be barred from adjusting status in the country because you have worked without authorization. However, if you worked without authorization on an F1 visa, for instance, and you did not work for more than 180 days without authorization, then you'll be fine. In the sense of you'll be exempt from that bar and be able to apply for your green card in the country. However, if you've worked without authorization for more than 180 days, you will not be able to adjust your status in the country. You're like, well, just the same way USCIS knows when you have a baby that you didn't put your name on the birth certificate, but somehow they were able to figure out that it's your child. Yeah, they would know. So it's always best to be very, very upfront, to be upfront. Now, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I talked about how if you have a pending asylum, you may be able to benefit from an employment route green card. Where it matters is this. If you, for instance, came into the country and less than 6 months after you came into the country, you filed for asylum, even if your I-94 is now expired and asylum does not confer on you any status, the good thing about that is you have not accrued any unlawful presence that will trigger any bar. So basically, if you do an employment-based petition, either category that you qualify for, it gets approved, priority date becomes current, meaning USCIS starts working on cases filed on or before your date, you're able to get an advanced parole based on the pending asylum. Once that is approved, then you can go to a third-party country to apply for your immigrant visa based on that employment-sponsored petition that's been approved. So why it is important to apply for the advance parole is this: just in case something goes wrong and you don't get the immigrant visa, you're not stuck outside the country, you have an opportunity or a backup plan to come back in with an advance parole. I've had clients go that route. I've not had anyone, knock on wood, who's been stuck, but I've not also had anyone leave the country without an advance parole. So that is an option to consider if you've got a pending asylum and you have not accrued up to 180 days before you file for asylum. Because whenever you file for asylum, it doesn't confirm you any legal rights or any legal status, but it pauses accruement of unlawful presence. So for the duration of when your asylum case is pending, you're not counting, they're not counting unlawful presence against you. So if your asylum case has been pending for the last 6 years, you haven't accrued unlawful presence during that last 6 years that your case has been pending. And so you may actually figure out if you can benefit from something like this while you're waiting till Jesus comes back for the asylum interview to be scheduled. I know that's a lot, but that is that in a nutshell. That's the best way I can explain it. If you need more evaluation to see if you qualify, then we'll be glad to set up a consultation for you. It is 140, 30 minutes, 210, 45 minutes, and then 1 hour, 250. Something like that. The website where Ari. That information is there. That's math. I don't do math. That's a whole lot of math. 𝒂𝒐𝒓𝒌𝒊𝒕, Johnny. Yeah, that's my forte. That one I can do all day, every day. All right, let's get to questions. Questions. Okay. Good evening, Bells. How are you? I don't want to see you in person because I don't know what kind of kiss you have. What the heck is this? There we go. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Athena. Yes, kindly share this live. You never know who can benefit with your friends, family members. That would be very, very much appreciated. What happened to the bipartisan bill? Is that going to take effect? No. It's not. No, it's not. Nothing. Good evening, Tina Beauty Affairs. Why do I think I know you? Oh, I think I think I know who that is. Because I think I've been working on that case for the last, yeah. If that's you, say yes. You would know what I mean when I said I've been working on, because I saw those documents. Okay. Tolu Ekale Shalafialewa. Good evening, Talkway. How are you? Good evening, Natalie. Let's see. How long does it take to get an interview after NVC expedite is approved? That's not the question I can answer. Okay, let's go to TikTok. Now go to Instagram. South African people are still sleeping since yesterday. Imagine. Allah Ashe. After receipt for VAL, when can I expect biometrics? It's not a question I can. Anything about time, like I always say, disclaimer. Any answers or responses to your questions are just general information, nothing specific to anybody's case. So please note, this is not legal advice. This is just information. Do what you want. But anything as far as how long that is controlled and determined by USCIS, please know I'm going to skip over those questions. I just cannot speculate to what USCIS is doing. If I could, then I'll predict everything for my clients, and I can't. So anything, if your question is about how long something is going to be, I can't answer the question. Okay. Let's see. What can I do if I forgot to attach my passport photograph to my I-485 documents? If you've already sent it, and I'm assuming that's what's happened, just hold on, let them decide. They may not reject your case. Have they rejected cases in the past because passport photo was missing? Yes. But they may not reject your case. They may just send you an RFE, or may actually bypass needing it if they schedule for a biometrics appointment. But if there's nothing, if you have not received your notices yet, there's nothing you can do at this point. Just wait to see what happens. If they send you the notices, great. Then you by yourself, you can go ahead and mail that to them, or wait for them to send you an RFE on that. Okay. USCI sent my work permit and travel documents receipt to my house instead of my lawyer's house. So what's your question? Can someone file in their paperwork immediately after marriage? If you are looking to file immediately after marriage, it's best that you already had built a good time frame while you were dating before you not file, so that there is evidence to show there was an intention before the marriage, and you've got plenty of evidence to show photographs, travel itinerary, family gatherings, all of that. And so it's not looking like as soon as you got married, you're just getting the green card. If you don't have that history with the person you're going to get married to, where you did it for like 2 months, it's not advisable for you to not file as soon as you get married, because then you're going to raise red flags. Assuming I'm in the country and my NIW gets approved, what's the next step? Next step is to apply for your green card once your priority date becomes current, as long as you remain eligible. You're not out of status, or you've not been out of status for more than 180 days. Can I use my national passport while I'm at Sali to enter third country? It's always best for you to apply for a refugee travel document. Okay. I can today. Good evening, house. I'm new here. It's my first time. Welcome. What's the platform all about? The platform is about talking about immigration. Immigration. I'm an immigration attorney, so we talk about all things immigration, share victories, share encouragement, prayers, all good stuff, all positive vibes here. That's what the platform is about. But you're welcome. When you enter the USA and don't attend the conference you were supposed to go to, can it affect you? It depends. If you've got a reasonable explanation for why you did not attend, then that's different. But if there's nothing, you don't have any reasonable explanation, you maybe seem to have misrepresented your intention when you applied for the visa, and you may be hit with having to file a waiver if you're trying to adjust your status. I'm here on B2 visa and like to school and stay. How can you help? If you're eligible for an F1 visa, you can change your status if you still have the time, meaning you have admission letter, you've enrolled, you've got tuition proof, you've got you've paid a service fee, you have an I-20, and then you can submit your change of status application. That's basically how that would go if you want to go to school. Okay. Hello, Collinsville. I'm new here. Welcome. Welcome. Let's see. Oluwaseyi says hi. That's my son's name. But that's not him on Instagram. I know my son. I don't know if he's on Instagram, but that's not his profile on. Yeah, that's not him. But that's my son's name. If you applied for asylum, can you file for marriage while waiting for your case? Generally, yes. Is your law firm in Texas? No, my law firm is in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all states. If you have advance, I'm assuming you mean parole, not karaoke. You travel without restrictions. It's not like you travel without restrictions. Advanced parole is basically, think about it like a visa that gives you and that makes you eligible to present yourself for admission at the port of entry. So it's not like there's no restriction because they will put, they can't always put you in secondary inspection, and if there's anything to that comes up, that's still something that can come up. Most of the time, nothing happens anyway. I did my biometrics and the app is saying I didn't show up. You can call USCIS just to clarify that, because their system can be crazy sometimes. Gorgeous is a lawyer of my utmost respect and love. Thank you. Need to speak with someone about my father. Need some information on how to get a waiver. You can contact our office. You wouldn't be required to pay for consultation. I don't offer, this is my version of free consultation. But if you contact the office, we'll be happy to talk to you about your dad's case. 334-341-4475. Okay, I think we answered again. I already answered that. I only have EAD and still waiting for I-130, and I want to travel in June. Can I apply for parole now? You can, but there's no guarantee that it will be approved before June. Why didn't you apply in the first place? Okay. How long does we're not doing that? Let's see. That's a conclusion. I did my biometrics as the app says I didn't show up, and now they want interview. Interview for what? Because you going for your biometrics appointment doesn't mean they won't schedule you for an interview. That one has nothing to do with the other. Are you saying that they're rescheduling you for another biometrics, or you got a notification to attend interview for your I-485? If it's an interview for your I-485, it has nothing to do with the fact that you showed up for biometrics. Okay. Okay, Tina Beauty Affairs. All right. I figured. I found my VAWA in October 2023. I'm still waiting for prima facie and EAD. Do you know how long it takes approximately? PFD can take anywhere from 2 months to 8 months. EAD, once again, that's left to USCIS. And his that work permits 2 years of 5 years, and his travel on the same permit. Whether they're going to concurrently approve your EAD and your advanced parole, that's completely up to USCIS. Sometimes they'll bifurcate it and approve it separately. But depending on, so when, just to be clear, there's the VAWA work permit is a C-31 work permit. That usually is your first indication that your VAWA case has been approved. So if you've got a VAWA case pending, and then your status changes to we ordered your new card, and that is showing under your I-360 number, that is your indication that your case has been approved. Because once you see that, that means, and there's a place on the VAWA petition where it says, once upon approval, do you want us to issue a work authorization? If you check yes, they would automatically issue you that. That's a C-31 work permit that is good for 2 years. The work permit you can apply for while your case is still pending before your VAWA case is approved is the work permit that is based on your I-485, not on your VAWA case. And that's a C9 that you're able to apply for while the VAWA case is pending, and that now is being issued for a 5-year period. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. Let's see. Anytime 9:06. Babatunde Yusuf, how are you? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, nice. Don't do it. I already did it. I already said it. I said it. I'm not in South Africa. Hi, you want to go there? I went there. I went there. They're not okay. One guy is about to twerk for his wife for the so I, he, he 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 felt like they were going to win, right? Oh my shield. Well, that thing was almost heart, only if you're in a heart attack. Like and I was looking at her like, I was sort of thinking, "Kill one ETTL. I'll be one Ivory Coast, one bad ball. Kill one ETT anywhere to fail." But that's just something about how we come together to support one another as Nigerians, regardless of how crazy our country can be. It's still that love we show. The eight happens thing. A man like TJ looking out for us. I'm telling you that piece of someone. Mr. Ben, are you denying your people now? Thou shalt not deny your own. Don't let them hear you now. Welcome to Humber Tennessee Lawyer Live. Thank you, Finance Shani. Welcome. Positive energy. You're always welcome to share and be encouraged. You Nigerians can drive. Oh, yes, we can. Welcome. We can. The dragon is endless. It is. See, I am one that when you first meet me, you will be able to make up your mind about me in the sense of you may not be able to figure me out, but you would. I wear my emotions on my sleeves. You would know what I'm thinking just by looking at me. You know the poker face, I ain't got that. You would know. But I always will treat everyone with respect until required otherwise. That's what happened this morning. And I'll be smiling when I'm talking to you because you'll be very confused. Like, okay, that was a shade, but she smiled. You'll be very confused. Yeah. And we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Doesn't matter what state you live in. You got an immigration case. If it's a case that we handle, we can represent you in whatever states you live in. Hello, Miss Lufumbi. Oh, listen, gotta win. Hello, Miss Mary. Miss Mary, have you received the stuff? The attorney wasn't informed. No, he wasn't. He wasn't informed. Anyway, let me not say what I wanted to say, but he became informed. I tried Ivory Coast, no. Well, he became. Don't underestimate. Think. You know that song, Gentle Lady, maybe more can shape right now. Gentle Lady, I don't start, but I'll finish it. I told everyone like, I'm taking no. Yes, we know. Emily, it is me, all of me. Are you from Nigeria? You must be new. Like you Lioness royalty. Like for real? Like how much Nigerian are you going to be? Tabasuenyu Abisola. That's let me even start it again because my parents gave me. So my names are Abisola, Adebola, Afolake. Like all my names, Ogenerukewe. That's another one. But has wealth in it. Which in burial after 45 years, yummy. Where's the wealth? Okay, tomorrow. Okay, where's the wealth though? Ejo, Jackie. Sorry, you need Abi. Ola. Where's all the Ola? Anyway, okay. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone's question. Oh, that jump. Wait. I'm gonna try the best I can to get to. Okay, that's where I stopped. You're not from Nigeria. Yes, I am. Um, can I use my child's disability to expedite my valid case? The child is a U.S. citizen. My case is over 2 years now. Valid cases take 3 years, but it's not just about the disability. It's got to affect you in one way. For instance, cause some form of hardship based on humanitarian grounds. It just depends on what argument you're going to make. Okay. Let's see. If a couple is not living in the same state, is it okay to get married without a problem occur? So, is it okay to get married and file? I guess without any issues. If you're not living together, you have to have a reasonable explanation why for USCIs, and you can't say you're not living together. You never live together, and you want them to approve your case. It just doesn't work that way unless you really, if your spouse is deployed because they're in the military, that's different. If you're working somewhere where they're gone for a good bit of time, but they're coming back home, then that's different. But you can't say you're getting married, you're not living together, and expect your case to be approved. What are some of the signs of how would be approved? I wish I knew. As long as you're sending a good case, but it's no guarantee about anything. I applied for my 10-year green card after my 2-year expired. I had my biometrics August 2023 and still waiting. Can I apply for work permit while waiting? What would you need a work permit for when you have an extension notice? So if you had a conditional green card and you applied to remove the conditions on that, right? Then whenever you applied for the you submitting your I-751, USCIS will send you a notice. Your notice is what you need to keep working and traveling in conjunction with that expired green card. Yes, disclaimer. This is just general information. Nothing. Thank you, Derek Sparks. Let's see. Does one need any other documents apart from travel parole from USCIS to travel while awaiting decision from USCIS on I-130? As long as you've got the I-45 pending, you have a valid advance parole, and you have a valid passport that has at least 6 months before expiration, then that's basically all you need. That's what she wrote. Do counselors fall in the EB3 for someone who is still in a valid status? Yes. I mean, if the position, for instance, requires a bachelor's degree, that will qualify you as a professional. If the position requires a master's degree, that will qualify you as someone who's an EB2 advanced degree. So it just depends on what the job offer actually requires. Do you qualify for EB2 national interest waiver after your master's degree in the U.S. in the STEM category, but without a work experience? You don't necessarily need work experience. It's helpful, but I've done cases without work experience. But if you work while you're working as a graduate assistant, or you're most people try to get OPT and then start the national interest waiver while they're doing OPT or CPT, just to add that as part of the evidence. I want to ask if I can file for full custody of my child here in America, but I didn't give birth to him in Nigeria. And he is with me here in America. Thank you. If I can file for full custody of my child here in America, but I didn't give birth to him in Nigeria, and he is with me here. So if it was with you here in America, what do you need to file full custody for? unless the other parent is here. But either way, that's not an immigration related question. That is a domestic relations question that you would need to direct to a family law attorney in your state. Is it possible? Okay, let's see. Is it possible to file EB1 and also include my family who is currently in Nigeria? And how will it take for them to? You mean how long will it take for them to join me here after your approval? Is it possible to file for EB1 and include your family? Yes. So when you file the I-140, there's a place where you include your spouse once that is approved, your spouse and your children who are under the age of 21 and unmarried also will become eligible to apply for immigrant visas as derivative beneficiaries. So once your cases are approved, you apply for green card here. If you're eligible to adjust, then they would, one of the things that you would need to do is to file an I-824, notify USCIS to notify the embassy that you've got derivative beneficiaries who will be applying for immigrant visas based on your approval of the EB1. Does issued prima facie give 80% chance of approval? No, it does not. Can an adopted child who now has her citizenship file for her biological mom? It would depend on the circumstances of the adoption. How does it take to get green card after combo? You mean how long does it take? That's not a question I can answer. So I've been trying to book a session with you. Kindly check your inbox and reply my message. If you've texted my office before now, if you're texting while we're on now, Lydia is on, she takes questions that you get. But if you text in my office before now, I can guarantee you are given the consultation information. So there is no, just make sure there's no way around paying for consult, because we get that every single day. I just have a question to ask to just know if you can help me. No, this is where you come to ask if I can help you. But this is where I see it. When you go to your doctor's visit, every single doctor's visit you have to pay. You don't get to tell the doctor, hey, I just want to know if you can help me before they say, no, if you want to see the doctor, you want you to my stuff and book you, so your copay today is this. And then you get the doctor to try to look, I'm going to have to refer you to a neurologist. And then when you get to a neurologist, you're going to have to pay. It's the same darn thing. And then we got bills to pay too, But she'll check it after if you're looking for the consultation. And you can go on our website, olalayalawfirm.com, and schedule your consultation right from the website itself. Okay, so I found my vow in October 2023. That's the same person who was here. So let's see. I filed a petition for my parent and they sent me a letter requesting for evidence of birth certificate. Okay, so what's your question? Okay, what's your question? Let's see. Hello, Alan Gong. How are you? If European national came here and overstayed there 3 months, what's the best route to get a green card? I'll sit down with a lawyer and figure out your options. Yeah. When renewing EAD as an asylum applicant, is it important to renew your underage kids 8 and 10 years old as well? Not really. They don't need it for anything unless you just want them to have valid IDs outside of their passport. Most people just get the EADs initially for kids because they can get their social security number and establish their identities. But yeah, no one is putting an 8-year-old or 10-year-old to work. Well, at least not in the US. That's another story for other countries. Okay, I already answered that. Can you explain what grace period means after EAD expires? There's no grace period after EAD expires. Grace period usually just means that if you're on a non-immigrant visa that allows you to still be within the grace period, like H-1B, F-1, and that during that time you're still eligible to change status, even though you're not necessarily in that visa category anymore, but you're not accruing unlawful presence and you remain eligible. Usually a 60-day period, but grace period as far as EAD, I'm not sure. There's no grace period for EAD. Okay. My day was fine. Alan Gal, how was your day? Thank you so much for all that you share with us all. Thank you, Blue Tune. And Sabina says I okay. You gotta choose one, Miss Sabina. Well, we'll make you choose yet. Well, I spoke too soon. Miss Eleanor said you gotta choose. Because I Nigerian jollof gun. No, we ain't doing that. Miss Eleanor, no. Don't start. Hello, Miss Fumi, how are you? Hello, I need your help and I don't have consultation fees. Then ask your question here. Ask your question here and make it as generous as possible, but I don't waive consultation fees. I don't. Thank you, Miss Abu. Tomorrow, okay, Miss Mary. Sister Lawyer Small Boy Mike. I'm serious. I'm real tiny. Like I'm real small. You'd be like, ah. And I think God has a way of doing his things. Because my voice is very strong. I've got a very strong voice. I don't need a microphone. You would hear me like, and then you seem like, hey, if your voice ain't funny, like, where's the rest of you? Where's the rest of you? Here it is. Yes, 100% Nigerian. No mix. Thoroughbred, 100%. Yes, I am Kevware. That's my robot name. Okay, no Rukewe. I'm multi-tribal. Monkey. Yeah. Oh, you're running us. Okay, let's see. Is it better to file an NI while you're still in employment? Yes, it's more advice because you've got more evidence that way to add to your case. I always like listening to you. Always learn something new. Thank you. That's the goal. Thank you, Finance Jenny. That's the goal. Can a military service member remarry his ex-wife? What would stop them from remarrying? Right? I mean, unless there's something else. I'm not following, but generally there shouldn't be any reason why that cannot be unless the military bans. I don't know. But if you're asking because of immigration purposes, I don't see any reason why not. Is an NIW going to freeze my status, or do I still need something to keep me in status? Okay, let's be very clear. And that's all I explained earlier on. NIW is just a petition. It is an I-140 immigrant worker petition. It doesn't freeze anything. It doesn't freeze your status. It doesn't give you any status. It doesn't allow you to work, nothing. It is only a basis for you being able to apply for green card. Look at it as someone who files an I-130 for their spouse. That I-130 petition by itself does not confer on you anything. It allows you, however, to have a foundation to file to adjust status or to apply for an immigrant visa at the embassy. It's the same thing with the national interest waiver petition, which is the same form you would use for national interest waiver and all no, all EB4 you've got to use I-360, but EB1, EB2, EB3, I-140 is what you're using. It's a petition that is a standalone petition where it gets approved on its own. It does not extend your status or give you any status. What status now has to do with whether or not you are in a valid position or eligible position to adjust your status after the approval of that petition. So that petition does not give you anything other than a foundation to file a green card or to apply for an immigrant visa. I hope that answers your question. My wife is from a Boko Haram terrorist-infested state in Nigeria, and she will be coming to the U.S. in a few months. What will she need to come along with to file asylum? If you go online, you'll be able to get information about that. But evidence to show that she was persecuted or will be persecuted if she goes back. What she's been afraid of, anything that has happened close to her, like any kind of killings, any kind of robbery that's been related to them, and how she is in direct way of being harmed if she's made to go back to Nigeria. Hello, Cookies baby. How are you? What can be done if you file for marriage green card and I-130 was approved 2 days after interview? It's been 6 months now, and I-145 has not been approved. Call them, do a congressional assistance request. I'm seeing this happen so often now. And I actually have a guy who just retained our services where his I-130 was approved. The one his wife filed, they didn't approve the 485, and now they're scheduling them for yet another interview based on I-485, even though an I-130 has been approved. So you just never know what's going on behind the scene, but you can call them and find out what's going on that you haven't heard anything in 8 months. If a person's mother gets filed for, never states she has children, but the mother's name is on the child's birth paper, can that mother file for them now, but the child is an adult now? That's something you want to sit down with a lawyer to talk about. Can a military serviceman remarry his ex-wife who's outside the United States? And is it also, it's not about being a military service, unless there's something in the military that is going to be fair, because you have to understand your laws that, certain laws apply to military active duty members that don't apply to civilians. So if you're worried about maybe there's going to be some kind of good moral character issues or extramarital affair issue, then that's something you have to deal with the military and see what the consequence will be. But as far as immigration is concerned, as long as you're legally free to marry, then there's nothing stopping you. And if you're dating someone and you rather follow a fiancé visa, that's an option as well. But because you keep stressing military service member, just to be clear that this is just general information. And obviously, there's a whole lot more behind that emphasis that you may want to talk to a lawyer and find out more about your case. I have a VAD case and it's been 27 months. What's the next step? You're going to wait till it's approved. That's the next step. And it's taking about 38 months. Thank you, Alan, girl. And that's what Miss Sabina to say. Don't repeat the question. It's just sifting through, trying to see. Okay. An asylum in waiting. Can my wife file for me? She's a citizen. Absolutely. Okay. When can I talk to you? You can call our office to schedule your paid consultation. 334-341-4475. Hello, Mr. Allen. You said no, you're a Kenyan too. Well, by proxy, I guess. How are you? Can someone who has H&D mass communication from Nigeria, currently in a college in the U.S. studying nursing program or communication program, who has no work experience, file national interest waiver? National interest waiver, you need to have either an advanced degree or the equivalent of that, which is a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of work experience, or you have exceptional ability and there's some criteria. So if you fall with you have to qualify for one of those two before you now get to what your proposed endeavor is. Can I file for NIW while still on F1 and still schooling? Yes. Let's see. Can an EAD from previous denied or withdrawn petition be renewed? No. Can you get divorced with a 2-year green card on extension? What happens to your case? Will you get a 10-year green card or still be able to file for citizenship when you meet the 5-year mark? If your I-751 is still pending, you get divorced. If you file jointly, you have to notify USCIS that you're converting to a divorce basis. But if you've already filed based on divorce grounds, then and you're no longer with the American citizen spouse, you got to wait for. Will you get a 10-year grant or still be able to file for citizenship when you meet the? You'll be able to file for citizenship when you meet the 5-year mark. Okay. What state are you in? And can I meet you in person? I don't do in-person consultations. Even if you're right next door in Alabama, no. We do Zoom consultations, and my office is in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all states. I did not include my wife and children in my asylum application. Can I later correct that, or will that affect my asylum? You can correct that. It shouldn't affect in any way. I have a friend that got her EAD in December, withdrew the petition because the husband refused to show up for interview. Want to know if she can continue to use her EAD. Referred her to you, though. If the petition was an application was refused, I guess she should have actually not redrawn it. She should have seen if she's to be qualified for VA and then transfer it over. But once the EAD has been denied, technically you can't. It's not valid anymore, even if it has not expired. Let's see. We did asylum as a couple. We're separated now. What can I do now? You may, if it ends up resulting in a divorce, you're eligible to file your own asylum, no matter how long it's been since you've been waiting. Okay. All right, people. That's all the questions I can take tonight. And we will come back next week to do the rest. So let's continue to encourage one another. Hello, Mr. Joel. I already sent you an email. With the confirmation that we submitted the request. So please check your email. I got case status update that my date of birth was updated. They never requested anything from me. What does that mean? It means they have they're working on your case for whatever reason. It's just sometimes, for the most part, it's a generic update, but sometimes it just means they're about to do something. Either approve, depending on what case is pending, approve it, schedule an interview, whatever the case may be. But that just means they've touched base with your case. My visa at 994 expired before I filed for asylum. Can I still apply for a green card based on employment? If you haven't, if you have not accrued any unlawful presence, what you're going to need to do will be to apply for an immigrant visa at the embassy. Well, anyway, all right, people. Thank you always for joining me Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's not just about me; it's about all of us coming together. Because when you think of a state like Texas, and people will sit in their, their air conditioning unit, big offices, and they have cars, and the government really is paying their salary. You are not paying the salary, and they're living a luxury life, and they are the ones who forget how America started. America started because some people decided they loved it, which it wasn't their land, and those same people now think they have an authority or audacity, I should say, to tell other people that they can't come in. Should there be border control? Absolutely. Because I think that if they have that in control, then those of us waiting for asylum for years will get a chance to at least have an interview. But it's just really about the anti-immigrant, behavior or attitude that just keeps getting me. But at the end of the day, the one thing I always just still fall back to is that there's no journey that's a mistake. There's no journey. There's no one that has found themselves in this country by happenstance. You're here because it's part of your ordained destiny. And so I'm a firm believer that no matter what any people around us may think or see about us, that's okay. That's opinion is like, what they say, everybody's got one. So, but what it matters is making sure we don't let that get to us, because negative energy can derail us from from our focus, where we're going. So as many of us still waiting, because it's a lot of waiting and the patience can run out, yes, but just always remind yourself that there's no how that you being in this country and waiting hello epic movements and waiting for that realization of that dream or that goal or that final destination to come. There is no way it will not succeed, because there is nothing God starts that he cannot finish. But the one thing we also have to remind ourselves about is we've got to do our part. It's not just about being in a hurry, but reminding ourselves that the journey is going to be the way God ordains it to be at the appointed time, not the minute or the second, earlier or later. And it will come to pass. So just keep holding on. It's important for those of us who are citizens to vote. It's not for us because we have the citizenship, but it's also for people who are in situations that we wear. So we get it. It's important that we help those who are trying to get to that citizenship stage. And it makes a difference for us to be intentional about going out and making sure that the people that we came from the same place just to come together and convene here for better lives, so that our children for generations to come will not have to go through what we have gone through, because they become citizens, and for generations to come, no matter where they're born, they can always pass that on. And so the sacrifice is now. But let's do our part so that those of us who are not yet green card holders or citizens can get there by going out and casting those votes, and just keep believing that God will finish that which he has started. There's nothing surer than that. So just keep believing that. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.